Good day, chemistry fans. What I've got here is a density question for you that I'm going to work out, and hopefully you can play along and learn some stuff. So this is a density question that involves a graduated cylinder in which something is going to be immersed in water to find its volume. And so we're showing that there's an initial value of 40 mils, and then there's a final value of a volume of 63.4. So that's going to allow us to figure out what the volume of the sample is. We also know that there's a density told to us of 8.9 grams per centimeter cubed, and it is in fact looking for the mass. So that means that we're going to use the density equation, D equals m over v. Whereas in this case, we're looking for the mass. And if we're looking for the mass, well, that means we need to rearrange this slightly to solve for m. So if I multiply both sides by v, I can cancel v off one side and end up with it on the other. And therefore, I can say dv equals m. Well, again, it's time to get points. First thing we need to do is figure out, well, what is the volume? And therefore, we need to do a subtraction. And so I'm going to do 63.4 milliliters minus 40 milliliters. And by subtracting one from the other, I get 23.4. There's my volume. The density is shown as 8.9. So I'm going to put some values into this and get some points. Hey, let's do the color blue. So I'm going to do 8.9 grams per cubic centimeter. I'm going to multiply that times my 23.4. Now, one thing we should realize is that 1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter. They're the same thing. They're just different units in a dimensional analysis situation. So I'm going to, instead of writing milliliters, I'm going to write cubic centimeters for my 23.4. And the reason being, that way they can cancel out ever so nicely. So I say centimeters cubed. And you may notice at this point, then my cubic centimeters cancels, and I should end up with a gram quantity. And so this is going to equal some gram amount, and the answer comes to 208.26. And we can leave it as 2 to the right of the decimal at this stage. We have not discussed significant figures yet, but we will, and that will change how we report this answer in the end. However, what I have shown here is I have a setup, and look at my lovely units in my setup. That got me a point. I then have an answer, and I've got units in my answer. That's 4 points, people. Earn them.